What's up everyone, it's Josh from the Architecture Student blog and I am back with another video. Today's video is the top design tool that architecture students aren't using. Now I know it sounds a bit clickbaity, but actually I'm hoping this is going to help a lot of students out. I'm not suggesting it's going to replace any of the tools that you've got, but it's a bit of software that I've come across that I was aware of but didn't quite see how beneficial it could be to architecture students, whether that's for your portfolio, for design work. It's just a really useful website to use for any of the work that you're doing. I use it a lot for my design inspiration. I actually used it to design the YouTube intro, all of the YouTube outros. I can't believe how much you get for free with this software. Anyway, the big reveal, it is Canva.com. Now you've probably seen Canva. A lot of social media marketing companies use Canva. It's got loads of templates ready to set up. So I just thought I would take you through some of the various different facets of Canva that might be beneficial to you architecture students out there. It's only going to be a quick video. I'm not going to spend loads of time on it because there's so much on there, you can just have a look at it yourself. But this is just a quick video to show you why I think Canva is the top bit of software that people aren't using at the moment and aren't utilising. But yeah, let's get into the video. So to start off with, one of the key benefits with Canva is it is free. You don't actually have to pay anything. There are some paid features and a paid subscription on there. If you want to pay for it, you will get some extra kind of pro membership features, but there is so much on there for free. It's definitely worth looking at. I've used it quite a lot for portfolio inspiration. It's got some really good diagrams on there. But anyway, I'll show you a few of these. So for example, there you go, there's a few things that I've been looking at, just sort of diagrams. So if you search diagram on there, it's going to bring up so many different diagrams, flow diagrams. I've actually been using this recently for inspiration for my part 3 work, which granted isn't quite as design orientated, but as you can see, there's so many different things, some interesting little sketchbook style ideas, infographics that are on there. It really is such a useful resource. Even if you're not going to use these, you know, you can take some of the ideas from these, take them into Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever software you normally use and just utilise them as inspiration. That's probably one of the key things that I'd recommend. But you can go on to these individual templates and edit them yourself. Let me just show you. I think that one looks quite cool. If I just go into the world map of social networking, see, here you go, here's the first example. That is a pro template. So on that student budget, that's a no-go zone. We're gonna have to try and find the ones that are free. The little crown just says pro there. That's how you know that you will have to pay for it. I mean, the membership isn't a lot, but who wants to pay even more? Like uni fees aren't enough as it is. This one here, although it's a mind map tool, it actually would lend itself to be like a bit of a program diagram. The benefit of it is they are obviously set up more as presentation slides, but that means that it does lend itself to being a ready-made portfolio sheet. It does give you kind of colours that you can work with, that you might want to carry on with as part of your portfolio. You don't have to, you can change all of that. It's really easy to use. So for example, with this one, yeah, if you change the main header to say building program, you can edit all of the text with this. It's really straightforward. You know, you can have room 1 or whatever that might be, room 2, and various different sort of subcategories away from that. If you did want to utilise it as a portfolio sheet, you know, you could have building program, exploration as your title. You've then got a nice little subheading box there to utilise. Obviously you can change all of this, so you don't need to have any of the credits on there. And that's just one example. As you click into that, if there's certain things that it thinks you might like the look of linked to that diagram, you know, as you've got here, you've got various different mind maps that you can utilise, line graphs, pie charts. There's so many different things that link back to it. If we click off that, back onto the main page here, there are so many different diagrams. They're all obviously readily editable. You can change all the colours on there. It might give you inspiration for the colour scheme that you like. You know, I quite like the look of that darker navy blue and the gold there. Just trying to think what else if I was to search. Let's just go for architecture and see what comes up. You know, we've got some cool logos here if you want. I mean, for things like logos, anything digital marketing wise, Canva's got absolutely everything. for example, just keep going. There's some nice sort of marketing imagery there, not that that would be obviously too useful. Nice sort of swatches board over here, which would be quite useful to use for any kind of precedent studies that you might be looking at. I mean, that's the other big one. If I just search this in a bit more detail, there's so many CV templates on Canva. If you want to make your life easy, if you need to quickly redo a CV, I actually need to do mine for my part 3, which I'll probably cover in another video, but there's so many templates on here that you can just take, edit straight away. I mean, at the end of the day, these are certainly going to make you stand out compared to some of the bog standard ones that are available and some of the ones that I've received in practice. So, granted, you might want something that's a little bit more design orientated than what they've got on here, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's certainly going to give you a great start for 10 to get you going. I mean, this one looks pretty cool. If it'll load. That's the only problem with being right at the edge of the house. Literally everything takes forever to load because of the Wi-Fi. I mean, it ticks all the boxes that you'd need. It's ready to go. You can edit all of that text. You can change all of the details. You can change the colours just by going up here. You can actually have brand colours. So here's the Architecture Student Bog brand colours that are already saved into Canva, ready to go. You can add photos. You can add elements, which are kind of like stickers or PNG files. There's so much stuff you can do, it's unreal. Let's just have one quick last look at what else might be on here that people might find useful. If you go into the templates, there's actually a drop down menu of everything that you could possibly want. So we've got Instagram stories, Instagram posts, if you're looking to set up your own kind of architecture based social media platform, which you have, if you haven't done already, I highly recommend. You know, we've got resumes, cards, weekly schedule planners, which is obviously always going to be a benefit, not necessarily for the course, but is always going to be useful to have. You've got business cards, invoices. Let's have a look at brochures, infographics. Let's see which one we can go here. Marketing. Let's go for infographic and see what comes up. I mean, quite interesting timelines if you're looking to do any research of a site, perhaps as it's developed over time. You know, some really cool, nice kind of sketchy ideas for concepts. Straight away I'm looking at that and on climate change and thinking, you know, if my concept's about sustainability or something like that. I mean, there's some really nice graphics in here that would be nice to use. Again, brand colours that you can change. There's so many different ones. Look, our design process, if you wanted to use something like that and to explain the process of how you got there with some nice icons. I really like that one, the Maldives one. It's got a nice sort of map. You've got some percentages on there. If you're sort of doing site analysis, I could see that being a really useful, nice one to have. Again, you might be able to just import some of your own images that you've got into that one and create your own kind of infographic from there. Even if you don't, just take the ideas from there, the proportions of it, take that into Photoshop or Illustrator and utilise it in that way. So yeah, I mean, there's so many different ones. I'm not going to bore you by going through absolutely all of them, but yeah, that is the one thing that I'll say is the most underutilised tool at the moment. I'll be quite honest, it might not be, but I certainly wasn't aware of everything that was available. I'd used Canva on my phone, obviously for the blog. I'd used the app, so you can download the app and do it on your phone if you really wanted to. But when you go onto the desktop website, that is when Canva comes into its own. There are so many different variations and options available on the website. Obviously, it's a lot quicker when you're using a desktop PC or a laptop than your phone. But yeah, I definitely think it's the most underutilised bit of software for architecture students at the moment. As I've said throughout the video, it's not necessarily going to replace anything that you've got, but it's certainly going to give you some inspiration. It might even give you some templates, some more quick and efficient ways to get things done. You know, we've all been there. If you're on a mad rush to try and get something done the night before you've got a crit the next day, and you just want to quickly produce like a little infographic to explain your process, how you've got to where you are, where the project's at, or perhaps even explain the concept or the brief. You know, if you can go onto Canva, quickly just change some text on the templates that they've got, download the file, and get it printed. It's, you know, I'm not suggesting that's what everybody's going to do. I'm not suggesting that's what I would have done, but at least you've got a couple of options to utilise it if you are running a bit short of time and just need to get some things done quickly. So yeah, that is the top bit of software that I think is most underutilized, and that is canva.com. Go and check it out. Let me know what you think. If you make any graphics with canva.com, make sure you tag us in them. Send me a DM on Instagram so I can see what you're producing. I'd love to share some of the people's work on the blog's Instagram page if you have watched the video and gone and produced some graphics using Canva. And yeah, as always, like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a video, and I'll see you next week.